What is up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is November 5th, 2019, and we're back at again on the charts. Tuesday session, and what a great way to start off the week. Monday we went over 4 pairs, and all 4 are either deep in profits or at their final take profits. And we're just going to go through them. As you guys know, when we're in profits, the sessions are pretty quick because there's not much to discuss. We will look at potential, other setups to enter, but I mean, Monday was great. We could probably end off the week there and we'd be straight. But let's go into it. First thing we're going to talk about is Eurusd. Just like we drew it up, we did the live entry right at 1.11480. And this is where we entered. It took us maybe 2 minutes to analyze the pair, and we had virtually a 0 drawdown entry all the way straight to our final take profit of 110.751. So 73 pips right there, done and dusted. It didn't even go anywhere near our entry after that first retrace. So not much to say about this trade other than that price action rules all. I mean, seriously. Now looking at daily, you can see just how bearish that move was. A very big bearish candle here. And obviously what we want, where our final take profit is 110.750. Any closure below that could probably take us down lower. We'll be targeting from this level to this level, like we've targeted this level to this level. So hopefully it's making intuitive sense, and we have another 70 to 80 pips that we can target if we get that closure, and we'll wait for that. But 73 pips bagged right here. I'm not complaining. The other one was Pound USD, and Pound, it's on its way. If you haven't entered short, I'm not sure why you haven't, because there's multiple entries. So on yesterday's session, told you guys that we just need that closure below this level, right? Because we wanted a short from up here, we just didn't get quite up there, and so for us, we wanted a closure below our hourly support, which was at 129,000 flat. We got that closure right there, and since then, we've dropped around 48 pips, and that short, we have a final target of 128,000 flat. So 60 pips away, and we are coming to some short-term support at 128,500. So if you missed the entry, I guess you're just gonna have to catch the next trade. Even the 4-hour presented the entry. We had the break, the retest. We had a perfect shooting star candle, your classic rejection candle to go short. And so, pretty great setup. We didn't get this move, but at least we got this part of the move, and that's all that matters. And so I've put partials, and I've taken, I've taken partials, and I put stops to entry. I really hope we can go all the way down here and get the rest of that move. But I think that's where we'll be headed. The dollar is gaining momentum. Pretty simple setup. Again, on the daily, it's pretty similar to the euro. The daily is pretty bearish. You can see right here, kind of like a shooting star, but not so much. And I like to call it a teardrop candle, signifying further lows. And that's the level we'll be targeting. And if you look, we have our past alert down here when we wanted a short last time we came here. And so when we do get down here, we're going to be looking for that break below, maybe a closure below 127.723 to take us down lower. We talked about the Brexit and all that drama yesterday and for the past 2 weeks. And we really think the dollar is probably going to take over now as Brexit is put on hold. And so 40 pips, 35, 40 pips, depending on the entry, 48 even. But I think I got around 36. I was doing other stuff, but I think 36 pips is still fine with me, especially since it's gonna offset the Aussie Swiss loss that we just had. We'll talk about that setup in a bit. moving on to the next trade, gold, which was exactly like how we drew it. I mean, again, yesterday we did a live entry. It took us 2 minutes to analyze the trade. Our entry was at 1506.84. Our final take profit was at 1486.96. 190 or so pips right there. We went 50% position, so that's half that. So it's actually going to be 85 pips. No, not 85 pips. 95 pips. My bad. It's been an early morning. So 95 pips, pretty good. And again, similar setup. And we saw that big drop that, this 4-hour candle literally took us all the way home. And that's great. I don't think we had any fundamentals in the morning that could have caused this. We actually have some right now, but nothing earlier. Just had the trade bounce for the CAD, but that's about it. So this 4-hour candle brought us home, and right to the bottom of our take profit region, and close to our the bottom of our training range. We might squeeze out and go a bit lower to 1479, which is another 70 pips away. But just because we've caught all of this, and it's only Tuesday now, and we do have some hourly support coming up. You can see a lot of wicks in this area. I'm hesitant to go short again. I'm just gonna take our profits, keep it moving. So 95 pips here, 70 from Euro USD, 40-ish from pound. We lost around 40 from Aussie CHF, so that cancels out pretty good. And then the other trade that we talked about for gold, not seeing anything right now. The big move has, we caught the big move, which is great. All we're looking for now is that vital closure below 1479. Looking to the left, when we wanted to go lower for our short trades, we just never got that. We had a lot of wicks, and I think this was one instance where we actually got stopped out, but we had a pretty tight stop. So this time around, we're looking for that clean closure just below 1479 to take us down to 1464. So 150 pips we could grab, over the next day or two. We just got to be patient. And I'm more convinced that this will happen just because the dollar is gaining a lot of momentum. And another trade we looked at was USD yen, and I believe that was the first trade we looked at. And I told you guys if the 4-hour stays that way, go ahead and enter. And this was the 4-hour candle we talked about, and it stayed bullish. And we can see pretty much went to our take profit and then some. Our final target was 109.109, but we did say we can go to the top of this ascending channel, and I think that's where we're going to be headed. We're pretty much almost there, but another 60 pips easily caught just like that. Zero drawdown. We didn't have to take partials or because it didn't even come close to back to entry. Just rocketed, and we were just riding that dollar momentum. So another 60 pips. Really profitable week. And so when we have these kind of starts of the week or just these days, we really want to just not get greedy. Obviously, there's a limited amount of pips the markets give, and it's hard to be consistently profitable. And so you got to control your emotions. I'd rather keep what we have today than lose half of it trying to get more. So we're just gonna let the markets calm down. Obviously, we had big moves in all the majors, and thankfully because of our strategy and our discipline, we were on the winning side of those moves. And so now we're just gonna wait for the next setup. Don't force the issue. And we're sitting pretty nice on a Tuesday morning. So yeah, USD yen probably gonna jump another 15 pips. But that trade is done and dusted. Obviously, we like to be transparent. Let's talk about that loss. And this one actually kind of annoyed me. Aussie CHF, I mean, the daily looked so good for a short, multiple days in a row. We entered short here after this rejection. We had this daily candle. I think this was Friday, which is like, all right, we're still good. Then we had, I think, Sunday's candle, which just still looked good to me for a short. And I think we had the RBA rate statement yesterday, and they're keeping rates at 0.75%. And I think that's what kind of fueled the push up and us getting stopped out. Let me remove this. But we didn't have a really initial reaction when the news came out at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. So I was a bit confused, and I was probably assuming that it didn't have such a big effect. But yesterday during the day, I think right before London, it was looking like we were going to start to drop. We came kind of around this hourly support at 0.67900, and we just rebounded up. So pretty annoyed about this setup, but it's going to happen. I think the best thing we should have done was close out right before the news. But it's fine. I did speak about gold and Aussie CHF being inverses. So if gold dropped, then most likely not Aussie CHF was going to rise, and that did happen. So thankfully we made more on gold than we lost in Aussie CHF, and so it doesn't hurt too bad. But it's always good to see what went wrong. We might see this gain, but not really interested in looking at this right now. Kind of annoyed, but the daily does look a bullish, to be honest. If it closes this way and we get another bullish candle above our array 0.68250, we could go higher. Targeting these highs right here, and trading against the Swiss or any of the Swiss pairs in general have been pretty nice to us. CAD CHF, USD CHF, and even Aussie CHF. So they tend to respect technicals really well, the Swiss francs. So we could do the long. We'll see what happens at the end of the day, see how the daily is. But I don't really have any setups to take for the rest of the day. I didn't think our trades from yesterday would play out that quick, but they did, and so we're just gonna leave it at that. I mean, just looking at Aussie dollar, we might have a short. A nice daily trend line dating back to May is coming into play, so we may have a short actually. Yeah, why not? You can see if we can get squeezed below 0.68740. We can see our previous resistance. If we can get squeezed below, yeah, we can have a short, a really nice short. Yeah, just ride that wave of dollar strength. A nice 2.2 risk to order trade. So I guess you can be on the lookout for this. See if Aussie dollar can get squeezed all the way below here for us to go short to maybe 0.67181 or 0.67200. Yeah, I think that's good. And that'll be a nice 60 pips. It is the Aussie dollar, and so it doesn't move as much per pip, and so that's why I don't think we trade it that much. Same with NSD USD. But since we're already sitting pretty nice, a nice 60 pips would be fine, and we're only risking 60 pips. Actually, we're risking 60 pips to make 140. My fault. 140. Yeah, I was like, wait, there's no way this is only 60 pips. Yeah, so 140 pip potential on this short, and stop is around 60ish pips. So not bad at all. We'll see if we can get squeezed down, but I think because of the RBA rate statement, Aussie dollar is gonna extend itself and go maybe higher. But I think the dollar strength is the wave we should be riding right now. And I think we did talk about Bitcoin yesterday, so why not? It is another pair against the dollar. So let's see how that's doing. It's still relaxing, not really doing much. So not much updates there. Yeah, so this previous move was probably fueled by fundamentals from China, but since then it's kind of chilling, probably gaining contracts to another push up, or maybe a sell off. But just gonna check the chat. I don't think hey NQFX, seems like signals from other providers are really slow this week. Could you address that? Yeah, I'll see what's up. Definitely I'll check that out. Tommy, what did Tommy say? Eurusd gold. Yeah, I'm glad you caught those. Yeah, if you guys want, you can end your trading week today, with the profits we made yesterday. Good morning, Jared. Phase 1 of the trade is getting inked. I hope you mean it's getting done, and if so, I think that's why we're seeing a strong dollar. Because gold is rocking down. I got stopped at the entry. Yeah, Aussie CHF is annoying. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll check that out, NQFX. Glad you caught those trades, Tommy. And hopefully, Luke, Aussie CHF didn't burn you too much and you caught the other trades. And so, yeah, I think this is probably one of our shorter sessions. 16 minutes, right at a sweet spot. So I think it's a good spot to end off. If I see any trade setups throughout the day, they're either going to be on our trading view. So if you want, you can follow us on trading view. And we post a setup a day on trading view. So if you guys want to check us out there, you can go ahead and do so. Forex Lens, as always. And so I'll see you guys tomorrow for another live session at 11 a.m. Eastern. And hopefully we'll get some nice trade setups. So I think that's it. And yeah, so see you guys tomorrow. Peace. I'm RP Forex. I'm logging off.